Hello, welcome to Argentina for the first round of a new Evolution series, the 1956 Evolution. Phil Collins, what is this, the 80s? Peter Collins in the Ferrari, fifth. Here we go, the cars are away, and jackfairman leads nicely with Behra. Let's have a look, but Scotty has gone across into Behra's path. That might protect Fairman there. And there, whoa, there's a few going wide. Everyone's going wide. And that's one of the Ferraris. I think that's Fangio. Home race, off and lost the wheel already. So, wow, not the start of the season that the 1955 and 54 and 51 champion, the triple world champion, was hoping for. He's out of the race already. Fairman is leading. Mikehawthorn in second. Stirlingmoss in third. It's a Brit 1, 2, 3. I don't know if anyone's going to catch Fairman because everybody is having trouble holding the car on the road except for jackfairman, who's already got a 9.3 advantage over Mikehawthorn. All he's got to do is hope the car holds together and avoid any mistakes now, jackfairman, and he would then get the victory that will put his name in lights on the board and also put him in the championship lead at the start of the season. So yeah, that would all be fantastic, but we remain to be seen. And is that Moss? Yes, it is. Well, he said Moss is the most complete driver, perhaps not today. There is a mistake from Stirlingmoss. Has he got enough ground over Pedisa to hold on to fourth? No, he hasn't. There's Pedisa. Pedisa has gone through. And Fairman is starting to lap the back markers already. Not sure if that's his teammate Scotty or is that somebody else completely. But Fairman lapping the back markers. And oh, it's thrown him into a spin. Whoever it is, Fairman, we said he's made no mistake so far, but he has now made a mistake. But he does have, I think it's got to be close to a 20-second cushion over Mikehawthorn, and I think he's going to be all right. He recovers, and there's plenty of ground still to those behind him. So Fairman, well, tripped over by a back marker. Not sure who it was. Look at Hawthorn. Well, Manzon's actually catching Hawthorn, so Manzon's looking pretty decent to try to threaten Mikehawthorn's second place in the closing stages. Robertmanzon is definitely catching Mikehawthorn. jackfairman there comes across the line, though, to win the race and complete what has been a fantastic weekend. Pole position and the win. Welcome to Monaco for round 2 of 1956. Ferrari back to the fore. Fangio on pole. Castellotti in second. Ronflockhart gets his BRM amongst the Ferraris. He will start third on the grid. And there we go. Fangio, he's slow away. Flockhart away like an absolute rocket. And Flockhart leads all those Ferraris in his BRM down into turn 1. And well, there we go. Fangio having a little bit of a bump into the wall there. Seems to be all right, but there we go. They're all taking it very easy. We have to win a 32. You see some cars riding up onto the back of others, but they all get going. Well, most of them get going. Looks a little bit laggy in the back there, but Flockhart up into the lead in the BRM, and he's got a chance to try to get away, but those Ferraris should be quick. Flockhart and Jean Debian appear to have stolen a little bit of a march on him there. Well, Olivier Jean Debian now might be able to have a look, but he's, as soon as he tries to get the Ferrari through there, there's a take slapper and he's off and he's spun it, and Fangio will now be up in the second, but well he's in it. I think Fangio's lost himself and he's now not going to be in that position for, well, Fangio is out of the race, so there we go. There's a massive pile up. I think jackfairman is involved in that as well, so well, the winner from Argentina we think is going to be out of the race, and wow, this will blow the championship wide open already. Well, Moss is now the guy applying the pressure to Flockhart, but Moss is again struggling for grip around the casino square. Casino bend, I'm not sure what they used to call it in the 1950s. I think it was still called something casino. Well, Moss is trying his best to try to take this victory off Flockhart, but at the moment Flockhart is the one who is keeping it steady, keeping it solid and on the road, and Moss again just can't do anything about Flockhart. Even though Flockhart clearly is not the quickest car out there, he is certainly the driver who is able to keep it calm. And there goes Moss. Moss is now off, and I believe that'll be Moss out of the race. Surely can't concede from that. That looked like a bit of a big impact, and Stirlingmoss is out of the race. So Flockhart leads. I believe Jean Debian will be back up into second place now as Flockhart goes through. He controls it through the harbour there, and Jean Debian hasn't controlled it. Jean Debian is off into the harbour. Oh no, look at the car, it's dancing around, look. You make me feel like dancing. Yeah, still dancing in the pit lane. Flockhart leading. Behra 7.7 seconds behind him. Mikehawthorn has found his way up into third place. Flockhart continues to lead the race. He's still, even through everything, Ronflockhart is just looking unperturbed, but he is now being caught by jeanbehra. that Maserati has some speed, and Behra, he didn't manage to bring it home in the points in Argentina, but he did finish the race, crucially. He had a few errors but finished the race, but Behra at the minute is looking fast and reasonably controlled. Hawthorn is in a spin, so Hawthorn, who said he's been driving well for the last couple of races, I think he's got a little bit of a gap behind him. Can he hold third place? I think he might do, because he didn't embed himself into the hay bale, and Gould, who might have passed him, has put himself in the hay bale. So yeah, that's Gould out. Well, Ronflockhart has never won a Grand Prix before. Jeanbehra has never won a Grand Prix before. So both of them fighting for that first win. This will be done with the utmost passion, and I am looking forward to seeing the outcome, because it's either going to be a very tight finish, or we're going to see a momentous pass. So yeah, let's see what happens here. Flockhart leading down into what we now know as, it seems like when I have to do the commentary, Behra's inside Flockhart, and that, he made that look pretty straightforward. Jeanbehra inside Flockhart and up into the lead. We can say that Mike Hawthorn is still on course for a second podium in 2 races, as long as he keeps it on the road. He's already had one mistake in this race, so it's not completely set in stone, but Mike Hawthorn will be hoping that he can control it. And that's Villoresi losing position to Gordini. I'm assuming that's De Silva Ramos, because I think he was ahead of Manzon. Yes, it is. So Hermano De Silva Ramos, 19th on the grid this time. He's up in the 4th. So here comes Jeanbehra, and he is going to win the 1956 Monaco Grand Prix. Jeanbehra, the race winner. Welcome to Indianapolis for the 1956 United States Grand Prix. And we see Jackfairman on pole for the second time in 3 races. A massive opportunity for Jackfairman today. So here we go, Jackfairman on pole, stirlingmoss for the first time this season, not qualifying 8th, but qualifying 2nd, right on the front row. He'll hope to have a good chance to do something today. Jackfairman, I'm sure, would be happy as long as he's top 2 or top 3. Here we go, away they go, and there's already a yellow flag out somewhere, so we're not sure what happened there, but look, Fairman leading away, and he's got a bit of a challenge from Moss. Is that Moss? I think so, and round they come, and there's a bit of, they're all losing traction, they're all going off there. So, well, the 1956 attrition continues. I think there's a few drivers got out, a few who are able to continue, but we're seeing Jeanbehra, the Monaco winner, he's already up in a 2nd. He's behind Paul Frere in the Ferrari. So Fairman is out of the race. So I think Behra has gone off as well. So Paul Frere leading. So this has started well for Ferrari. They've got a lead. They've got a 1-2 now, I think, and they've got a bit of an advantage over 3rd place, which is Scotty in the Connaught, already gone up from 11th. Moss 4th, and Mike Hawthorn, who is always there, is there once again in 5th place. So he's only needs a couple of retirements ahead to maintain that podium record. Oh no, that's Mike Hawthorn. He was thinking, with all the attrition that's happened this season so far, he was really thinking this might be another podium in the championship lead, but it's not worked out that way for Mike Hawthorn. He is out of the race. Paul Frere leads into lap 2 in his Ferrari. Fantastic run in from him. So there we go, and there's there's another off. There's another off, and that's Castellotti. You're not really too sure who it is, to be honest. It's muddled because someone else has gone off. Is that Frere? And that one, and that's another Ferrari has just pulled off. Actually got through the chaos at turn 1. There is a massive car park there, and they're not clearing it up by the looks of it. So everyone's gone crazy. Moss is out of the race as well. So, wow, this is just absolutely ridiculous. I don't even know how many cars are left. Taruffi up to 2nd in the Maserati. Who is leading now? This is an absolutely chaotic, crazy race. We have no idea what on earth is going on. Taruffi in 2nd at the moment. De Silva Ramos up in 3rd in the Gordini. Well, if De Silva Ramos was to hold that position, he could end up being a surprise championship leader after this race. The race, we think and hope, is settling down. Taruffi is in the lead. De Silva Ramos up to 2nd. He could well lead the World Championship after this race. Not the first name on your lips when it comes to thinking of Formula 1 in 1956, but De Silva Ramos is the one to endure so far. He is doing really, really well. And there's a real car park, and Taruffi now spinning off to avoid it. Is he going to be out? Is anybody going to finish this race? De Silva Ramos spins to avoid it as well. He goes a different way. Taruffi will, I think, continue so with De Silva Ramos. I think Taruffi is comfortable in the lead. Remember, he won that Swiss Grand Prix in 1952 for Ferrari, and he was the only non-Alberto Ascari winner all year. So Taruffi's got previous, and if he can win this race, well, again, he's had a spin to avoid these guys who have been left in the road. And I think De Silva Ramos, you can see, is already in a spin as well. I mean, this is just getting ridiculous. I think by the end of this race, this is going to become very, very tiresome indeed. Taruffi coming round for, I'm assuming, his laply spin. We'll see in a little while. Let's see, Taruffi continuing into turn 1 in P1, and there you go, he starts to lose it, and whoops, around we go, and he's hitting the wall, hit the wall the other side this time. Is Taruffi actually going to be able to continue? Because if he isn't, this could be raced over. I think somehow he has nudged his way through, so Taruffi does continue, and that's Pedisa in a spin. And, well, we'll see what happens out of that. The order is actually staying pretty stable because they're all spinning, all having sort of similar spins, and that seems to be that. Pedisa recovers in second, just like one would expect. And then, who is third at the moment in this race? Well, they're a long way back, whoever it is. It's Uriah. So De Silva Ramos has dropped right back. He's down in fourth now, and De Silva Ramos has had an opportunity. He's not been able to take advantage of it. He needs to score. He's on 5 points. He needs to score at least a podium in order to take the championship lead, and it's not looking like that's going to happen right now, is it? He's dropped further off, still in fourth. He would still pull level on points, although Pedisa, actually, he's running second. So if Pedisa was to hold on to second place, then he would potentially take the championship lead. He's on 3 points at the minute, so the second place would move him up to 9. De Silva Ramos still sitting there in fourth place, but Maglioli and Trintignant and Chapman all not too far behind him. I think De Silva Ramos might have an issue, and he is starting to slow down. I think he might be stuck in gear or something. So De Silva Ramos might not actually score any points at all in this race. Oh, De Silva Ramos has got a problem now. I've just confirmed he is stuck in fourth gear. So it's really, this might just give Gordini and Piotti a chance to catch him up. Well, Gordini are preparing in the pits. So what's going to happen? Are they going to retire De Silva Ramos? It looks like possible. Or are they just going to try to fix it, or put a new steering wheel or tyres on or something and send him out again? But what's the point in pitting him if the problem is terminal? You might as well just leave him out to claim a point. He's on for a couple of points. Why would you retire your driver? Because he's one of the most consistent in the field. In that respect, with the way this season's going, he's got a chance of fighting for the World Championship. Well, let's see what Gordini are going to do. Are they going to send him out again? It's not looking good. No, De Silva Ramos is out of the race, so that's another retirement, and that means that basically nobody has finished all the races in the points anymore, with Hawthorn and now De Silva Ramos retiring from this race. Taruffi continues to march on. There can't be that long to go now, surely. I think we're on the final lap with everything that has been going on. I've sort of lost track of where we are, but I would imagine Piero Taruffi is on the final lap and coming through to win. I'll gladly, proudly declare him as the winner when there's still 1 lap left to go. So be it. I'm going to fall on this sword that this is the last lap and the last corner, and here comes Piero Taruffi to get back onto the brick section of the pit straight, and Piero Taruffi crosses the line well, doesn't cross the line yet, but he's about to cross the line. Crosses the line now in Indianapolis, and he has finished the race, and Piero Taruffi is the victor. Hello, welcome to Spa-Francorchamps in Belgium for round 4 of the 1956 season. Juanmanuelfangio in his Ferrari is on pole position. Stirlingmoss in second place, just like he was in Indianapolis. Eugenio Castellotti third in the Ferrari, and petercollins fourth. Remember, Ferrari still pointless, still unable to make it around past the sort of first third of the race. So Ferrari have a lot of work to do today. But for now, our focus is very much on the here and now. We see Juanmanuelfangio, Stirlingmoss and Eugenio Castellotti on that front row. What are the chances that Ferrari finish this race? Well, we'll see. Fangio is away poorly. Moss away very well, very solidly, and straight into the lead. And Fangio trying to hold off Castellotti. It is slightly wet, as you can see at the moment. We believe it's going to dry as the race goes along. So there is Moss. They're all sliding around, but Moss has the lead. Fangio into second, but I think he's got a bit of a tank slapper on already, Fangio. And that could be, whoa, that Fangio is out. Fangio is going to be out after that. Stirlingmoss, though, has a comfortable lead. Will he be able to finish the race for once and take advantage of his position and win the race? Although Jean Debian is catching him quickly. Well, we say that, but I think Jean Debian goes wide, and off he goes, and that's Jean Debian out of the race. Will rips off the Ferrari. That might have been the last Ferrari in the race as well. So, well, Jean Debian, that's terrible. for him. Godia is there, up into second place now, and Fairman moves up into third. Jack Fairman is now up into second. He has got past Godia and Fairman in the second place in his connaught. This is fantastic news for Jack Fairman, because if he finishes there, he's going to be back into the championship lead, and that would be absolutely fantastic. Scotty has got Padiso as well. This looks fantastic from Stirling Moss. It's been a great drive. He's controlled it since he passed Fangio off the line, and Stirling Moss now will come through. He'll come round onto the pit straight, and Stirling Moss will win the Belgian Grand Prix. A fantastic result for Stirling Moss. He opens his account, and he will now throw his hat into the ring to fight for this World Championship. Hello, welcome to the 1956 French Grand Prix. And the big news here is that the championship leader, Jack Fairman, is on pole position. But we have a bit of a bizarre situation, because like in the 1975 Argentine Grand Prix on that Evo series, the game has randomly given me an outsider second on the grid rather than 20-something. Hermano da Silva Ramos qualified in 24th, but he's been gifted second on the grid here, and no matter what I do, I can't get around it without duplicating Jack Fairman and taking da Silva Ramos totally off, which would be a very stupid situation anyway. So da Silva Ramos gets given a free front row start. Phil Collins, no, I'll call him Phil Collins again. So Jack Fairman then starting on pole position. He will look to extend his World Championship lead. If he gets a win today and none of the guys close to him get many big points, then he could be almost there. Oh, Fairman getting away well, but da Silva Ramos is away better. Da Silva Ramos is into the lead. What a start for da Silva Ramos in the Gordini. Incredible. And this will please a lot of people, because I know from previous videos we've posted from this season that da Silva Ramos is a bit of a cult hero, and I'm sure you guys will be rooting for him. So far, Moss has not got any base. Moss won in Belgium, but he is struggling. He's down to fourth already. You would have thought Moss would be up with those connaughts, but Scotty's got ahead of Moss easily. And so Fairman and Scotty are running second and third. But da Silva Ramos is pulling out a lead. He's really, really going well here, Hermano da Silva Ramos. And you'll have to excuse us, because I think the camera at the moment is really enjoying the Tree Grand Prix of 1956. Fangio going for a move on Godia. And Fangio still in the race at the minute. No stability issues, it would appear, for the Ferrari. So he's right in this race, Fangio, potentially. He could just sit there and try to get a point or two. And I'm sure Ferrari will want Fangio to take it easy. They will want to bank some points, because they're still sitting with none in the constructors. There goes da Silva Ramos. He is coming towards the end of lap one already. And Jack Fairman in second, and Piero Scotti behind him. Those two connaughts, I think, keeping order, and I think they will keep order. And Fangio is up in a fourth. So Fangio has dealt with both Moss and Hawthorn in one straight. But da Silva Ramos, there he is in the lead. He's already a third of the way through the race. And if the car holds together and da Silva Ramos keeps it going, there's every reason to believe that he could win this Grand Prix for Gordini. I mean, if Gordini take a home win, how remarkable would that be? And also for Connaught, they would get a result they're happy with. But Connaught might have to watch Fangio, because Fangio appears to have some pace. So here comes Hermano da Silva Ramos. He is about to complete 2/3 race distance, and that Gordini is still in the lead. And he's not looking like he's showing any sign of weakness. Jack Fairman still in second place, and he's got a nice little gap over Scotty, maybe pulling it out slightly, but I think Connaught would have told Scotty to hold station behind Jack Fairman, because obviously Jack Fairman going for the World Championship. Scotty, he's got his first points last time out. He'll be happy with more points here, especially if he can hang on to the podium. But those Ferraris are closing in. They're not closing in that quickly. Is there time for Fangio to catch the connaughts by the end of the race? Here comes da Silva Ramos now, coming out of the last corner. We have got to watch this Gordini victory parade, but we are seeing where the Ferraris are in relation to the connaughts. They're definitely closing, but they're still not closing particularly quickly. Fangio is in view. Scotty in particular will be aware of him and aware of his role to try to cushion Fairman a little bit. But here comes da Silva Ramos. He's going to come across the line and win the French Grand Prix for Gordini. What a performance this has been. And, well, we're nearly about to cross the line. Here we go. Da Silva Ramos claims victory in France. What an emotional day for France. They see their Gordinis win. They see da Silva Ramos win. Welcome to the British Grand Prix of 1956. It is raining, and complete removal of me saying Phil Collins today, but it is the genesis of a potentially great race for Peter Collins as he is on pole position. So here we go then, Peter Collins from pole position. Can Ferrari hold on and get their first win? They got their first points of the season in France. Now they go for that win. Collins versus De Silva Ramos. Will he have that pace? It is raining, so that will be a thing. De Silva Ramos is away. Brooks is away well as well. And this will be a right tussle to see who can get in the first score first. But everybody is sliding around. And I think that's taken most of them off already. That's John Debian. What a impact for him. He's off, and you see De Silva Ramos off and Brooks. So, well, De Silva Ramos' hopes haven't lasted too long. I think everyone's trying to put their foot down way too much in the wet conditions. Collins has gone off. Behra, will he avoid Tony Brooks' spun car? Yes, but now he's getting trouble getting the power down himself. Fangio, the old maestro, he is up in the second place. Can he get something today? Collins recovers in third. Rosier, another very experienced old hand. He is a fifth, and Jackfairman, we said he might not have any trouble working his way through. Already up to 6th from 15th on the grid. Fangio chasing Behra in second place. Behra leading down into that turn for the first time. I assume that's the old Stowe. I might be wrong. Behra continues to go, and Fangio is getting in a bit of a tank slapper run, and Fangio has spun it. Will he be able to recover? He's going to spin almost in the path of his teammate. And yes, he does spin into the path of his teammate. That's Collins. That's going to delay Collins badly. Rosier getting through now right on the tail of Peter Collins. John Behra at the moment, he is home free. He's already won one race this season. This will bring him right into the World Championship fight as well. If Behra could win this, it's another reason for Fairman to hold on and get as many points as possible. Rosier, I don't know if he's going to be able to find the track limits. Gonzalez is now up into 4th. That will now become a podium as he goes past Rosier, and Fairman is up into 2nd. So doing well for Jackfairman. John Behra going to come into the pit lane and aim to change some tyres. I think he's got off the gap actually, but will he actually change tyres? They don't always on the 50s, they sometimes drive through. Behra comes in, he's looking into his pit box, and there he goes. Behra looks like he's retired in the pits, hasn't been able to get going again. Well, what a shock for Maserati. Behra looked set fair for this race, but now it is that man, Jackfairman, in the lead of the Grand Prix, with Gonzalez rolling back the years in a 2nd place. Jackfairman still comfortably in the lead, 10.3 ahead of Gonzalez. It looks set fair for Jackfairman to win his home Grand Prix and take a massive step towards having the title of world champion. And Gonzalez in 2nd place, and everybody else is a mile back, absolutely really far back. So major opportunity for Fairman here, and Gonzalez as well. Like we say, he hasn't really managed to shine this year, but we remember in time when Gonzalez was winning around Silverstone, and he's making good use of it today. Hawthorn is into the pits. Now we've seen a few just put into the pits and retire. That's not happening to Hawthorn, he's just driving straight through. So was that an error, or are they just doing it to not get up the speed on the straight so they don't have any risk of spinning? But Hawthorn has lost that podium place anyway. Maglioli goes through, and Mike Hawthorn down into 4th. Hopefully he's going to have the pace to catch it up, but we shall soon see. Umbertomaglioli, he's keeping it calm. He's now into the podium places from, I think he started, where did he start? 30th on the grid. So, yeah, and that's been about where he's been starting all season. But he's one of the better guys at keeping it on the road, and although never really seems to have the pace to take much advantage. But Maglioli is there, and Hawthorn, in his pressure to try to recover the podium, has lost it. What's happening? Fairman is out. Fairman has gone out of the race. We didn't see it, but we saw him going to the pit, so I think he's just retired. And Gonzalez could recapture his former glory in the lead of the Grand Prix, but I think, is that spray or is that an engine issue? I think that's an engine issue. Yeah, because the car he's about to lap is not pumping out all that smoke, so Gonzalez has got an issue, and he's got a very long way to go if he's going to survive. I can't see him making it. Gonzalez continues to lead. Remember, he took that first victory for Ferrari in 1951 in Silverstone, I believe. Off the top of my head, I think he won the 1954 race as well. So he's got history here at Silverstone. He's got a lead, but is his car going to hold out? He's not got that far. I can't remember how laps. I've totally lost count of the laps of everything that's going on. I think they've done 4 laps, so 1 more lap to go. Gonzalez is closer, you think, but I think he's stuck in gear now, we're just hearing. So even more problems for Gonzalez, and it's going to slow him down so much that he's really struggling through there, and it's going to be almost a possibility for Gonzalez. Hold on, he's stopping. That is it. Gonzalez is not going to make the finish of the British Grand Prix. What a shame. but what an opportunity for Umbertomaglioli. He will take the lead now. The private Maserati started 30th on the grid, and wow, he is into the lead of the British Grand Prix in the closing stages. The guy who started 30th leading the race, and the guy who started 31st in second. I mean, just wow, what a race. And once again, the unpredictability of 1956 continues. Doesn't look like there's going to be much going on in terms of the World Championship fight, because everybody who could get some points today, they are not really in it, haven't really got many points all season. So, but, you know, someone like Maglioli, if this was to happen again in the next race, crazily, he would be within 4 points of Fairman if it was an exact repeat result. I think we've only got 4 runners left in this Grand Prix now, and Maglioli comes across the line, wins the race, and gets overexcited and does what would later be termed a Vittorio Brambilla by crossing the line to win the race, getting overexcited and having a crash. But he does continue, and yeah, well done Umbertomaglioli. Fantastic victory. For anyone who wins from 30th on the grid, you can't knock that. What an amazing performance from Maglioli. Godia third in the Maserati, Maurice Trintignant fourth in the vanwall, and that's Maglioli. His car has ground to a halt, so he was lucky that the race wasn't an extra lap. Colinchapman will be very upset that the race wasn't an extra lap, because that would have been his win, but ultimately it wasn't, and Umbertomaglioli has the win, but he's broken down, and well, there you go, just sums up how nutty and crazy this Grand Prix has been. Hello everybody, welcome to the German Grand Prix, the penultimate round of the championship. Stirlingmoss is on pole in his Maserati. De Silva Ramos once again qualified 24th, I think, but the game has promoted him to second, so we're just going to ride with it, because this season, if you're meant to finish and you're meant to finish well, you're going to. If you're not, you're not. So we're just going to ride with that one. Stirlingmoss on pole. He'll be looking to get away in the best possible way, but he has got quite a bit of competition. Moscan gets away. Fangio is away slowly. We've seen that for the majority of the season. Behra is away pretty quickly, and remember, he could have won in Silverstone, but the car let him down fairly early on, actually. And De Silva Ramos is off, and he's hit Fangio. Fangio initially avoided it, caught some control of his car, but then he is off again and he spun around. So, well, there's an incident already going into turn one, and everyone is, well, not everyone, not as badly as Silverstone, but quite a few are off. Again, of course, it is a wet race start, maybe not quite as wet as Silverstone was, but once again, and there's Behra fighting with somebody when they cast a lot. He's out of the race there. Moss is leading, and Behra fights his way past. That's Trintignant. And there is Moss leading Behra and Trintignant all in the same shot. And if Stirlingmoss could win this race, that would put him right up with Jackfairman. If Fairman's not able to do much, we saw, I think, Fairman in a spin a little while ago, so he was hoping to get some points to wrap up the championship, but at the moment he's quite far down, I believe. But is that Fairman coming through there, or is that another vanwall? It's Harry Schell in the vanwall. I think that's Fairman in the background, is it? He's gone off again. And look, that's De Silva Ramos. He's having to, or is it Rosier actually? But he's having some close. So you can just hear the mechanic there saying Jackfairman is out of the race. So this is an open goal now for anybody who cares enough to score enough points to stay in the title battle. De Silva Ramos is continuously off, so he might not close the gap. You got Moss and you got Behra. They both sitting on 8 points. A win would put one of them up to 16 points and level with, or not level, but only 4 points off of Jackfairman. It would give them a fair chance to challenge in the final round in Monza. And Moss is there. Behra, though, appears to be the Maserati with the pace at the moment. They've both won one race each this season, and they would love to make it two. And but Behra at the moment really is flying at Moss with this pace. Will Moss hold on for the entirety of the Grand Prix? But here's an intriguing situation, because Musso has kept in the race, and that Ferrari has some pace, and Trintignant in the vanwall, he looked to hold pace with the Maseratis initially, but Trintignant now is dropping back quite significantly, and he is being caught by that Ferrari very significantly indeed. Luigimusso is looking here. Remember, Ferrari haven't got a podium yet this season. There is one right in touch here. Luigimusso really could get that Ferrari into the podium positions. He'll be doing his best. It looks like Behra has made a mistake. He's dropped back a little bit from Stirlingmoss there. So John Behra dropping back. I think Musso has made a little bit of an error, because Trintignant has gained a little bit of ground back on him. It is wet, it is slippy. It's very easy to make an error. But thankfully for Ferrari, Musso is still in the race. Deportago is still in the race. So slippy, slidey. And there's Behra having a really big slide. And that might be, is that the end of Jeanbehra? Can he keep it going? Moss is going to be away in a good position. I don't know if Behra is going to be able to continue. I think he stalled it. Yeah, Behra is out of the Grand Prix. Sterling Moss has his own moment, but he is continuing. This puts Transion up second. And Musso currently is in a podium place as Ferrari. Ferrari might just get that first podium in 1956. It might even be even better to take second, but he's in a bit of a slide there, Musso. Is he going to be able to collect up? He does, but once again, he drops further back from Transignon. And Transignon will be hoping that Moss retires. Because that's the Portago out, and I think, is that Musso had an incident as well? I think that two Ferraris one might have made a mistake and the others run into him. But look, there's more chaos. Oh, wow, well, what's going on here? Musso has indeed had an incident. He's currently sitting behind Deportago. Is that Rosier or is that De Silva Ramos coming through, or even Manzon? Shell under ever-increasing pressure from Piotti, but Piotti is in a slide, and that will set the vanwall free. Really good opportunity for a 2-3 for vanwall now. There's Piotti trying to rejoin him. Musso trying to avoid it, and he was going to get back into the points there, but he's now blown it, Luigi Musso. He's had another spin, and what on earth is going to happen? Musso is still there. We saw he is still in the race, and he is continuing. We saw he's got a little bit of a friendly bump with someone there, but once again, Musso, I think, is back in what I believe is 6th place when you take the retirements that they've jumped forward into the equation. I believe that Musso would be classified in 6th, but he's right in the middle of everybody, and he's had another wide moment, and thankfully he's not been torpedoed by the Maserati behind him that spun. There's De Silva Ramos, I think, still in the race, still with a hope of getting in the points if everyone goes out, but it's just so painfully slow, and I think he was about to get into a spin there. Right now, it is not looking like it's going to go to Gordini's way today. There's another yellow flag. That's Moss! Moss has spun! How far behind is Transignon? 12. It says there, I think is it 15 seconds? I can't see it quite totally, but yeah, Transignon was there behind him, but he's too far behind to catch Moss. Moss has had that spin. He's recovered quickly, but he almost blew it. Moss still in the lead though.
He's unable to continue. He's retired,
and that's De Silva Ramos out of the race. So, well, that's any hope that he had of closing in on Jackfairman has now gone. He will have to win in Monza with Jackfairman not scoring and to have a chance of the championship. We don't know where Moss is going to be in this equation, but he is still at the moment heading towards the victory as he gets ever closer. Oh, there's another bit of a tank slapper for Moss. Is he going to have another spin? Well, he's regained it. He has recovered that one, Sterling Moss. He carries on. Moss crosses the line. We missed it actually, but Sterling Moss crosses the line to win the German Grand Prix. Hello everybody, welcome to the 1956 Italian Grand Prix, the title decider. Once again, as you can see, Hermano de Silva Ramos is on the front row, but the qualifying pace was actually very poor for the Gordinis. They were on the back row. Seems like the team's just given up, but thankfully the game has decided once again to promote him to second on the grid. So we have all of our title contenders in the top 6. Sterling Moss on pole. Sterling Moss on pole. De Silva Ramos on the front row, and Jackfairman lining up in 6th place. If they finish as they start, Sterling Moss would claim the World Championship for the first time. Jackfairman still leads it by 4 points though. And now the racing will begin for the title decider in Monza. Sterling Moss on pole. Hermano de Silva Ramos alongside Alfonsodeportago has done a brilliant job qualifying 3rd. What happens here then? De Silva Ramos is fighting with Moss here. Who is going to get the jump? Moss is trying to hold on. It's a long run down into turn 1, and Sterling Moss will try his best to hold on, but I think De Silva Ramos has got the break on him. And last time we saw something like this in France, where De Silva Ramos had a genuinely quick car, he pulled away comfortably to win that race. So it's a big opportunity for him. Deportago is also ahead of Moss, and that's Moss actually has gone off, so that doesn't help him. Fairman was up in a 4th, but he's gone off, so he's going to drop down to, well, is he going to be able to keep going? He does keep going, but he drops down to about 7th or 8th place there. But De Silva Ramos still leading, but Deportago is starting to reel him in now. And they're both a bit slidey, widey there. But this is a chance. Ferrari have been poor all year, but they might just have a chance to win at home in Monza. But De Silva Ramos needs that victory to have a chance at winning the World Championship here today, and it's the only result that will do for him. ultimately, if Jackfairman gets back into the points, it's game over regardless. Moss is in third at the moment. Moss can't do it. Moss needs a minimum of second place. And he seems to be having one of those races where he just seems to be going backwards. Oh, there's Fangio. Was that behind Moss? But Fangio is now in a spin. And Fairman comes through. I think that will see Fairman back into the points. So this potentially is World Championship winning position for Jackfairman. Now up in the fourth as somebody else goes off. Jackfairman now chasing after Sterling Moss. Every chance for him to get onto the podium here, and that to take the World Championship with a podium would be great. Moss just doesn't seem to have pace, and he started on pole as well, so he's going to be absolutely shattered. Another opportunity to win the World Championship appears to be slipping away. Fairman doesn't look particularly stable there, but he is holding with it now as Moss is sliding wide again. He's really struggling with that Maserati in the race today. Big shame of Sterling Moss. His title hopes are slipping away massively unless there is some major issues for cars in front. Jackfairman, I know the graphic says second, but as I explained, he is still in third. Da Silva Ramos leads onto lap 2. He's halfway through this Grand Prix now, but he needs a retirement from Jackfairman, or Jackfairman's drop out of the points in order to win the World Championship. He also needs Sterling Moss. Where would Moss be? He would be third. So yeah, if Da Silva Ramos wins the race, Moss would still need to be second. He needs a second either way here, Sterling Moss, to win the World Championship. So there are still a lot of interesting possible connotations, but at the moment it's Jackfairman's presence in that third place that is making things look a lot more straightforward, because all he's got to do is finish in the points anywhere to get the World Championship. If Moss was to win the race somehow from here, then Jackfairman would only need a third place, and he is in that third place. Right, I'm going to show you Jackfairman is still third. It's at 14th under the bridge and third out of the bridge. Just goes to show how the game reads this one. Drivers retire and then it puts them into the pit lane and thinks they're in the lead. They're definitely not in the lead. Da Silva Ramos coming around, and we're coming up to having another half of a lap to go as Hermano Da Silva Ramos comes through and enters now to go onto the banked section of the circuit for the final time, with alfonsodeportago still behind him. The Tifosi maintaining their excitement, still wanting to see a victory for their Spanish driver. A satisfactory outcome for two of the title challengers. I'm not sure that Sterling Moss will be particularly happy. He's still struggling in fourth place, but he isn't under any threat from behind. He just hasn't got any pace to catch up ahead. But the clock is running down anyway. The clock is also running down for Alfonsodeportago in the Ferrari as Hermano Da Silva Ramos comes down towards the line. He is going to win the Italian Grand Prix. He's not quite going to be good enough for the championship unless Jackfairman drops out. But Hermano Da Silva Ramos gets his second win of the season and also sends Gordini out of Formula 1 with a win. So final race for Gordini, a win for Hermano Da Silva Ramos. What a way for them to bow out. And Deportago does indeed come home second, so Ferrari fans can celebrate, and considering how their season has gone, it has to be a celebration. Jackfairman, though, he crosses the line to become the world champion of 1956. What a great performance from him all season long, and we have a British world champion